During the 2003 Northeast blackout, New York City saw 60 major fires in a single night, 10 times the normal amount. And the cause? Candles. The very thing people thought would keep them safe actually destroyed their homes. If you think you know how to survive a power outage, you might be making deadly mistakes without even realizing it. In this video, you'll discover the 3 biggest mistakes people make during blackouts that can turn a temporary inconvenience into a life-threatening disaster. From hidden fire hazards to food safety failures and the shocking dangers that happen when power returns, we're breaking down exactly what not to do and what you should do instead to keep yourself and your family safe. Welcome to Crisis Horizon, where we help you prepare for the unexpected and survive when it matters most. If you're ready to learn how to handle the next blackout like a pro, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss critical survival information that could save your life. Let's talk about the first massive mistake that people make when the power goes out, and it's one that's killed more people than you might think. When the lights suddenly go dark, the first instinct for most people is to reach for candles. It seems natural, almost romantic even. Light a few candles, create some ambiance, and wait for the power to come back. But here's the reality. Candles are a leading cause of house fires during blackouts, and they've destroyed countless homes across the country. Take the story of a family in Georgia after Hurricane Helen. They lost power like thousands of others in their area. They lit a single candle to see in the darkness. Just one candle. That single flame led to a fire that destroyed their entire home. Everything they owned, gone because of what seemed like a harmless decision. And this isn't an isolated incident. During that 2003 Northeast blackout we mentioned earlier, New York City experienced 60 major fires in one night. That's 10 times the usual number. The cause? You guessed it, mostly candles. When you're fumbling around in the dark, disoriented, maybe a little panicked, it's incredibly easy to knock over a candle. One moment of clumsiness and your living room turns into an inferno. The Missouri Department of Public Safety doesn't mince words about this. Their official guidance is clear. Never use candles as a light source during outages. Not be careful with candles, not use candles responsibly, never use them, period. But candles aren't the only dangerous lighting choice people make. Some folks think, hey, I'll just fire up my generator to get some power going. Or maybe they drag a charcoal grill inside for warmth. Or they even run their car in the garage with the door cracked, thinking they'll warm up the house a bit. Every single one of these decisions can be fatal. Here's what you need to understand. Gasoline generators, charcoal grills, and car engines all produce carbon monoxide. This is an invisible, odorless gas that can kill you in minutes. You won't see it, you won't smell it, you won't even realize what's happening until you start feeling dizzy. And by then, it might be too late. Let me give you some real numbers that should scare you straight. After the Texas freeze in 2021, 19 people died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Not from the cold, not from the storm itself. They died because they ran generators or grills inside their homes trying to stay warm. In Louisiana, after Hurricane Laura tore through the state, most of the storm-related deaths weren't from the hurricane. They were from improper generator use. Think about that for a second. People survived a catastrophic natural disaster, only to die in their own homes from a completely preventable mistake. Carbon monoxide poisoning is actually more likely to kill you than the storm itself if you misuse a generator. So what should you do instead? The answer is actually pretty simple and much safer. Stock up on flashlights and LED lanterns. These battery-powered lights are cheap, they're safe, and they absolutely will not burn your house down. Keep several of them in easy-to-find places around your home. Make sure everyone in your family knows where they are. You might also want to consider investing in a modern battery backup power station. Devices like the Blue Yeti Apex 300 can keep your refrigerator, lights, and Wi-Fi running without producing any fumes or noise. These units work as uninterruptible power supplies, switching over instantly when the grid fails. No combustion, no carbon monoxide, no fire risk. Now, if you absolutely must use a generator because you need more power than a battery station can provide, here are the non-negotiable rules. Keep it outside, far from windows, point the exhaust away from your house. Never ever bring it indoors or run it in an attached garage, even with the door open. The fumes can seep into your living space and kill you while you sleep. A little preparation goes a long way. Don't resort to fire and combustion if you can avoid it. Surviving a disaster only to create a new one is the ultimate irony, and it's a mistake that's cost too many lives already. Now, let's move on to the second major mistake people make during blackouts, and this one is sneaky because it seems so harmless. Once the lights go out and you're sitting in the dark, your refrigerator suddenly becomes a beacon of hope and temptation. You want to check if the milk is still cold. You're a little hungry, so you grab a snack. Maybe you peek in just to see what your options are. Every single one of these actions is sabotaging your own food supply. Here's the science behind why this matters. According to the USDA, a refrigerator will keep food safely cold for about 4 hours during a power outage, but only if you don't open the door. 4 hours might not sound like much, but it's often enough to get through a brief outage. A full freezer can actually hold its temperature for 24 to 48 hours without power, as long as you keep the lid closed. Every time you open that door, you're letting cold air escape and warm air rush in. It's basic physics. The temperature inside rises faster with each peak, and your food starts spoiling sooner. You might think you're just taking a quick look, but you're actually cutting hours off your food's safe storage time. There's also a persistent myth that needs to die. Leaving the fridge door open does not prevent bad smells. It doesn't help anything. It just makes your food spoil faster. The idea that somehow airing it out is beneficial is completely backwards. Keep that door shut. Now, when it comes to food safety, the rules are pretty strict, and for good reason. The FDA warns that any perishable food, meat, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy, or leftovers, that's been above 40 degrees Fahrenheit for more than 4 hours may not be safe to eat. Notice they said may not be safe to eat, which is bureaucratic speak for you're probably going to get sick if you eat this. And here's the thing, you can't trust the sniff test. We've all done it. You open the container, take a whiff, and if it doesn't smell funky, you figure it's fine. But bacteria that can make you seriously ill don't always produce a noticeable odor. You could eat something that smells perfectly normal and still end up with food poisoning. The last thing you need during a blackout is to get violently ill. You might not have running water. Medical services might be overwhelmed. Getting sick during a disaster scenario can be dangerous, and it's completely avoidable. So what should you do if you know the outage might last a while? First, consolidate your essentials into a cooler with ice. Move your most important perishables there so you can keep them cold without opening the fridge constantly. Second, eat your perishables first. Have a cookout if you can, using an outdoor grill, never indoors. Make meals out of what will spoil first. And when you're not sure if something is still safe, throw it out. Food can be replaced. Your health can't be risked over a container of leftovers or a questionable package of chicken. But it's not just about the food in your fridge. There's another resource you need to protect during a blackout, your phone battery. With the Wi-Fi down and boredom setting in, it's incredibly tempting to scroll through social media, play games, or watch downloaded videos to pass the time. But if you burn through your battery, you might be cutting yourself off from emergency updates or unable to call for help when you really need it. Your phone is your lifeline during an extended outage. It's how you'll get information about when power might be restored. It's how emergency services will reach you if there's an evacuation order. It's how you'll call for help if someone gets hurt. You cannot afford to waste that battery on entertainment. Here's how to conserve power. Switch your phone to low power mode immediately. Dim your screen as much as you can while still being able to see it. Use your phone sparingly. Send a quick text to friends or family to let them know you're okay. Check the news briefly to get updates, but then put it down. What should you do instead of staring at your phone? Break out a book. Play board games with your family. Have actual conversations. Tell stories. Enjoy the quiet. There's something almost meditative about a power outage when you're not panicking. It forces you to disconnect from the digital world and connect with the people around you. Preserve your battery like it's gold, because during an extended blackout, it basically is. You'll thank yourself if the outage drags on for days. All right, we've covered fire hazards and resource management. Now let's talk about the third major mistake, and this one catches people completely off guard because it happens after they think the danger is over. Imagine it's 3 in the morning. The power has been out for hours, maybe even days. Everyone's asleep, then suddenly the electricity comes back on. If you've left every switch and appliance on in your house, here's what happens. Your entire house lights up like a stadium. The TV blares at full volume. The microwave starts beeping. The radio comes on. And if you left something on the stove, it starts heating up whatever's sitting on top of it. Dish towels, paper towels, food packaging, wooden spoons. Anything left on or near the stove becomes fuel for a fire. And it's not just stoves. What about that iron you left on the ironing board? The space heater in the bedroom? The hair curler in the bathroom? Any of these things can cause a fire when power is suddenly restored and no one's around to notice it. The smart move is actually really simple, but most people don't think to do it. As soon as the power goes out, turn off or unplug all of your major appliances and electronics. Walk through your house and flip off light switches. Unplug the TV, the computer, the microwave, everything. This protects your devices from power surges and prevents fires when electricity returns. Here's the trick. Leave one lamp on, just one. This way, you'll know immediately when power is restored. You'll see that light come on, and then you can go around your house and turn things back on one at a time, safely and deliberately. If you're using a generator during the outage, shut it off properly before reconnecting to grid power when electricity is restored. If you have a transfer switch installed, use it correctly. Never have both the generator and grid power connected at the same time. Don't be the person who survives the entire blackout without incident, only to lose your television or start a fire when the lights come back on. It seems like such a preventable tragedy, and it absolutely is. Before we wrap up, here's a bonus tip that emergency services really want you to know. Don't call 911 just because the power's out. Emergency services can't help with a blackout unless there's an actual emergency happening. If you call 911 to complain that your power is out, you're tying up lines and diverting resources from people who might be having a heart attack, a car accident, or a home invasion. Instead, call your utility company's outage line to report the problem. They have dedicated phone numbers and websites for this exact purpose. That's who needs to know about the outage, and they're the ones who can actually do something about it. Power outages are unpredictable, but your response doesn't have to be. With a little common sense and preparation, you can turn a stressful situation into a manageable one. Let's quickly talk about what you should have on hand to be truly prepared. Keep flashlights and LED lanterns in several easy-to-find places around your home. Stock up on extra batteries before you need them. Consider investing in a battery backup power station that can keep your essential devices running. Have coolers and ice packs ready for food storage during extended outages. Keep non-perishable food and bottled water on hand, enough for several days. Don't forget a manual can opener, because you'll feel pretty silly staring at canned food with no way to open it. Keep a first aid kit accessible, and make sure you have portable phone chargers to keep your devices powered for communication. Beyond supplies, you need a plan. Know how to safely operate a generator if you have one. Have a list of emergency contacts written down somewhere, because you won't be able to look them up if your phone dies. Identify safe places to go if your home becomes unsafe. Practice turning off appliances and unplugging electronics so it becomes second nature. And teach everyone in your family what to do during an outage so you're all on the same page. Here's something people don't talk about enough. Blackouts don't have to be miserable. With the right mindset and preparation, you can actually turn them into opportunities for family bonding, storytelling, or helping neighbors. If you have backup power and extra supplies, consider sharing with the people around you. Good karma and community spirit go a long way during a crisis. Instead of panicking when the lights go out, grab your flashlight, gather your family, and make the best of the situation. Tell ghost stories by lantern light, play board games. Simply enjoy the quiet and the rare chance to disconnect from technology. The key is to stay safe, conserve resources, and avoid the common pitfalls that turn a blackout into a disaster. So let's recap the 3 deadly mistakes we've covered today. First, dangerous light sources that cause fires and carbon monoxide poisoning. Use battery-powered lights instead of candles, and never run generators, grills, or cars indoors. Second, resource waste that sabotages your food supply and communication. Keep that fridge door closed, know when to throw out perishables, and conserve your phone battery like your life depends on it, because it might. Third, leaving everything on, which creates fire risks and equipment damage when power returns. Turn off and unplug appliances immediately when the outage starts, and turn them back on gradually when power is restored. With the right knowledge and preparation, you can turn any blackout from a potential disaster into a manageable situation. Common sense, battery-powered lights, keeping that fridge closed, and a smart shutdown protocol, these simple steps can save your life and your home. If this video helped you understand how to survive a power outage safely, smash that like button and subscribe to Crisis Horizon for more life-saving survival tips. Drop a comment below with your own blackout survival tips or stories. Let's build a prepared community together. Stay safe, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video.